Welcome to the lesson on isosceles triangles. In this lesson, we will discuss the basics and fundamentals of isosceles triangles and how they can be applied into solving problems. Now, an isosceles triangle is any triangle that has two congruent sides and as a result, two congruent base angles. Those base angles are always across from each other and adjacent to each one of those legs with the one unique base between them. The vertex angle is between the two sides and opposite the one unique base. Now, as we continue talking about isosceles triangles, it's important to see how they interact with medians. A median is a segment that comes from one vertex and bisects the opposite side, in this case AB. Now, will a median create two congruent triangles within our isosceles triangle? As we begin to wonder this, we imagine what theorem we could possibly use, and there might be some we could pick from. So at first, I know that AC is congruent to BC and that CD is congruent to itself. So that gives us two sides to work with. Now, while I know a median bisects a side, meaning that AD and DB are congruent, because this is isosceles, I know that A and B are also congruent, meaning that I could use angle or side, angle, side, and kind of slide that angle in between those two sides. So what kind of problems could I solve with an isosceles triangle? Let's say I'm given an isosceles triangle here. This one's isosceles right triangle, and I want to find CB. Well, since I know the other leg, CA, is 5, I will automatically make CB 5 as well. Knowing that A and B are congruent, if angle A is equal to 76, what is angle B? Again, since they're congruent, being that this is an isosceles triangle, angle B would also be 76. Now I know in this case 76 might not work having this 90-degree angle, but it just illustrates the main idea that those base angles are congruent. Let's do a few more challenging problems in this applied practice. Let's find the distance across this river from A to B. So a triangle is being created to hopefully find the distance across this river and that we don't know. And we were able to make some angles and some measurements. So let's think about the linear pair that we have here at angle A. We have x on one side and we have 60 on the other. And I know that adding those two will give me 180. Subtracting 60 would mean that that angle x is 120. To find the missing angle B that I don't know, I can simply add x, which is 120, plus 30, add y, which would be the angle B I don't know, and make that equal to 180, triangle sum theorem. By subtracting, I get that y will be equal to 30 as well, which would then illustrate the point that this is indeed an isosceles triangle. And if it's isosceles, AC and BA, which is the distance across the river, would be equal. So my distance would then be 70. With the second problem, I'm trying to find the distance across a crater. Now, I'm given two congruent sides already, but I can use the idea of vertical angles to show that I also have two congruent angles, which would give me enough to use side angle side congruence. Now that I know the triangles are congruent, I can now say that NT is congruent to AF, meaning if NT is 10, AF would also be 10, whatever the value may be, now that I've proved that those triangles are indeed congruent.